Concept assembly line, where ideas get to work. The headlines love a funeral. Acura drops the ZDX, Cadillac rushes a refresh, Tesla wobbles, Lucid rumored to deliver just 9 SUVs. It all gets bundled into the easy narrative that the electric dream is over. EVs are dead, the story goes. But peek under the hood, and the story looks very different. What's dying isn't the technology, it's the sugar rush. The years when subsidies, hype, and cheap capital papered over rough edges. The first act of electrification was about proving the concept. Act 2 is about proving the model. And in that transition, automakers are discovering what buyers really want. In luxury segments, it wasn't enough to slap on a leather interior and call it premium. Buyers expected sharper handling, faster charging, and bragging rights to match the price tag. In the middle of the market, the expectations were simpler, but no less demanding. A car that worked day in and day out without breaking the bank. That divide explains a lot of what looks like retreat today. Cars that didn't quite deliver are being refreshed, repositioned, or replaced. Platforms are being scrapped so automakers can build on their own bones. Startups are tightening focus. The market is pruning the weak shoots, not pulling out the roots. Take Cadillac. Its Lyriq was meant to be the brand's sleek electric pivot, but early versions landed flat. On paper, it offered respectable range and comfort. In practice, buyers noticed the gaps: charging speeds that lagged rivals, handling that didn't inspire, and an interior that felt more good enough than aspirational. Luxury buyers don't just want leather, they want bragging rights. Cadillac's fix came fast. A refresh within a year of launch, tightened suspension tuning, overhauled interfaces, and sharpened design details. It didn't solve everything, but it showed the brand was listening. More importantly, it bought time for the real bet. GM's next-generation manganese-rich prismatic cells, which could square cost, durability, and energy density in ways today's nickel-heavy packs can't. Cadillac's current EVs are bridges, stopgaps to keep buyers engaged until the chemistry catches up. Lucid learned the opposite lesson. It launched not with placeholders, but with an engineering showcase. The Air sedan redefined efficiency, ringing over 500 miles of range from a sleek package thanks to a 900-volt system and obsessive design. It was everything Tesla once promised to be. But it was also a six-figure luxury sedan in a market shifting toward SUVs. Admiration didn't translate into volume, so Lucid pivoted. The Gravity SUV is its attempt to meet buyers where they are, with the same super engineering applied to a class people actually want. Beyond that, a mid-size model in the $50,000 to $60,000 range looms. The Saudi sovereign bankroll behind Lucid gives it something no other startup enjoys: time. Far from dying, Lucid is pacing itself for a longer game. Acura sits somewhere between. The ZDX wasn't a flop so much as a placeholder, a way to get into the EV conversation quickly by borrowing GM's Ultium bones. The gamble paid off better than expected with some upside demand, but Acura saw the writing on the wall. Buyers wanted an Acura, not a rebadged GM. Retiring the ZDX clears space for something better. That something is the RSX, a luxury EV built on Honda's forthcoming Zero platform, which will debut later this decade. The Zero will hog the spotlight, but the RSX may make waves of its own, the true heir to what the ZDX hinted at. Honda's mainstream play, the Prologue, has quietly been the surprise hit of the year. At an effective cost around $33,000, it's not flashy, fast, or even particularly stylish. What it is sensible, decent range, affordable price, Honda reliability. The way Honda pitches it, a $20,000 discount from sticker, hides the real insight. The Prologue shows that the true sweet spot for EVs is in the low 30,000s. That's the price point where electrification stops being an experiment and starts being the default. And that's the formula Honda has stumbled into first. It's also a glimpse of how the market will mature. Voltage will scale up naturally, charging times will fall as 800-volt systems filter down, but buyers don't need it all at once. What they need is a car that works, at a price that works. The Prologue is the driveway version of the Gravity, not a dream car, but a sustainable one. If Lucid is the high-end experimenter, Rivian is the lifestyle disruptor. Its R1T pickup and R1S SUV captured attention with rugged styling, adventure positioning, and clever details. They were never meant to be mainstream. They were meant to make EVs aspirational for people who buy roof tents and mountain bikes. It worked. Rivian has built a following broader than its early niche, and now faces the test of turning cool into scale. The forthcoming mid-size R2 platform, aimed squarely at families who want an EV but don't want to spend Rivian money, will be the inflection point. If it works, Rivian cements itself as more than a cult brand. If it misses, it risks becoming another startup footnote. BMW and Mercedes, the grandees of luxury, stumbled differently. BMW's i4 and iX were competent but uninspiring, essentially gasoline conversions with batteries swapped in. Buyers respected them, but they didn't feel like the ultimate driving machines BMW promised. The fix is coming in the Neue Klasse, a true EV platform launching mid-decade with 800-volt charging for faster top-ups, sleeker design, and a chance to reclaim BMW's performance ethos. Mercedes' EQS sedan, meanwhile, became a symbol of the first wave's misfires. Quiet, comfortable, futuristic, but too jelly-bean in shape, too fiddly inside, and saddled with 400-volt charging that felt dated. Buyers weren't impressed. Mercedes has since admitted as much and is pivoting to new platforms. MMA and MB ACA, designed for speed, style, and proper Mercedes gravitas. The Jelly Bean era is ending. While the Germans retrench and the Americans experiment, Hyundai and Kia have simply executed. Their eGMP platform, which underpins the Hyundai Ioniq family, and the Kia EV6 and EV9 already runs on 800 volts. That means they deliver charge times on par with Porsche without Porsche prices. The Ioniq 9, a flagship SUV that feels like a family spaceship, shows how far Hyundai has come. It's not a Gravity, but that's the point. It delivers 90% of the experience for half the money. The Kia EV9 does the same at a slightly lower price point, and demand has been so strong the 2025 allocations sold out early. These cars are the Prologue treatment applied to the Gravity class. Aspirational shapes at attainable prices. This is what winning looks like in the post-subsidy era, delivering luxury-like EVs without luxury-like pricing. Hyundai and Kia are already there. Toyota and Subaru, by contrast, are playing the long game with hesitation. The Subaru Solterra stumbled out of the gate, and the company quietly pulled back. Toyota's BZ4X sold modestly, but didn't inspire confidence. neither company is giving up. Toyota has hedged across battery chemistries, nickel-rich packs for performance, lithium iron phosphate for cost, solid state as the holy grail, but it's moving deliberately, unwilling to bet the house until the market matures. Subaru will follow in Toyota's slipstream. It's a strategy that frustrates enthusiasts, but in its own way, it's rational. Better to be late than wrong. Tesla, of course, looms over all of this. It was the first mover, the company that made EVs aspirational, then accessible. Its Model 3 and Model Y still sell in enormous numbers, but the shine has dulled. The Cybertruck stumbled into reality as a quirky, limited product. The Model 3 and Y refreshers are evolutionary, not revolutionary. The supercharger network, Tesla's strongest moat, is being spun off. And Elon Musk's personal brand baggage now bleeds into Tesla's. Margins are shrinking, quality concerns linger, and competitors have caught up on the engineering. Tesla feels less like the future and more like the past that refuses to leave the stage. It's true there has been a shakeout. Mercedes EQS underwhelmed. Volkswagen's ID.4 failed to excite. Ford paused as its EV margins collapsed. Cadillac rushed a refresh. These weren't failures of EVs as a concept. They were failures of execution, positioning, and timing. Meanwhile, the global market keeps growing. China's BYD and NIO scale rapidly with cheap, durable LFP chemistry. Europe keeps tightening emissions rules. And Hyundai, Kia quietly dominate the space between premium and practical. The American retreat narrative looks parochial when the global story is acceleration. Which brings us back to the Prologue. It's not glamorous. It's not meant to be. But at $33,000, it nails the formula. Competent, affordable, sustainable. Voltage will climb as the industry matures. Chemistries will evolve. Charge times will fall. But the basic lesson is already here. EVs don't need to be miracles. They need to be cars people want to buy, at prices people can pay. Luxury buyers will still chase bragging rights. Acura will deliver them with the RSX, Cadillac with its next-gen chemistry, Lucid with its mid-size pivot, Rivian with its R2. But the center of the market, the part that determines whether EVs live or die, looks like the Prologue and the EV9. EVs aren't dead. They're growing up. And that may be the most exciting part yet. Please subscribe to help keep the content coming. It costs you nothing, but makes all the difference.